Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside. The continent touch.
The most important crash Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton had in their fight for the 2021 Formula 1 Championship. Whose fault there? What happened in the context of the championship after that crash? Why the sprint race the day before dictate the destiny of what could happen the next day? That crash at Silverstone could change the destiny of the Formula 1 2021 Championship. My name is Dani Lozano. I am the creator of the Formula 1 2021 documentary known as The 8th and 1. Very welcome to a new episode of The 8th and 1 Stories. 2021 British Grand Prix. The Red Bull car at that time was the fastest car. Not by much, but Max Verstappen came from winning 3 consecutive races in the French Grand Prix and both races in Austria in the Red Bull Ring.
It's going to be a tough one. The Red Bull's been so strong in these past races. I'm hoping that we can potentially close the gap a little bit, but who knows, maybe they bring another upgrade this weekend. And
in the championship battle context also was really important for Lewis Hamilton, because remember that he can't lose more points against Max Verstappen, because the championship it's tight and it will be decided by just a few points at the end of the season.
He is going. Oh, a lot of oversteer there. Hamilton gets to the line and can't improve. Has he, second time round, made it count and saved a bit of performance? Crosses the line. It's second for Verstappen.
The qualifying session Lewis Hamilton did in the British Grand Prix was absolutely incredible, I have to say. At Silverstone, obviously, Hamilton had a new motivation in front of his fans, and the qualifying lap, I think, shows the Hamilton fire he had inside of him and the team radio message in front of all his home crowd.
Get in there, Lewis! Get in there! Cracking job, guys.
The excitement he had in the team radio shows that it was really important for Lewis Hamilton that lap.
It is what it is. I mean, we were still quite close, so it's all right.
For the sprint, it's lights out and away we go.
In the sprint race, it starts the prelude of what we will going to see in the future. Remember, at that time, the sprint race was different. Only 3 first places score points, and in the place you finish in the sprint, you will start in the proper race at the end.
I think Verstappen got a better start than Lewis Hamilton, and he's already ahead. Valtteri Bottas is trying to pressure his teammate as well, but Verstappen into turn 1 ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Max Verstappen passed Lewis Hamilton at the start of the sprint race, and then we saw how Hamilton tried to pass Max Verstappen in the place they will have the accident next day, but he's really cautious there, Hamilton.
Hamilton try and get back ahead of Max Verstappen, and he's trying to get a slipstream as well. Hamilton's going to try and dance around the outside. Verstappen stays ahead. For the 4th race in a row in 2021, Verstappen's going to be on pole to take the sprint on this Saturday and 3 championship points.
Before the full race, we can see Lewis Hamilton is a bit frustrated in the press conference, but at the same time really motivated to try to do his best.
it's not been the best day for us, but the support of the fans, just the parade lap we just did there, the roar of the crowd is just magnificent. So I'll recharge tonight and come back stronger tomorrow. There's definitely things that we've learned from today, and I hope that we can improve for tomorrow.
Lewis Hamilton had so many factors that were not in his favor in terms of the championship that he knew he has to be in front of Max Verstappen in the Sunday's race to keep alive their chances in the championship fight. That British Grand Prix, the race started in the full race, Hamilton gave everything he had to stay in front.
And it's lights out and away we go. Once again, Max Verstappen gets a decent start. Hamilton is right with it. Verstappen's ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
And then we come to the episode where the crash happened.
Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside. The continent touch.
We saw a lot of times this crash on TV and replays on internet, and everyone have his own opinion. Lewis Hamilton had no intention to crash into Max Verstappen, I'm sure of that. anyone wants to do that. Obviously, Max Verstappen has no fault here. He's just trying to maintain the outside. The braking is good, and he is still ahead in the corner. But I think Lewis Hamilton's commitment was so high in that corner. He really wanted to be in front of Max so much to keep alive their chances in the championship, and I think he was not able to brake as much as he would like to in that corner. I think that's why he ended up crashing into the Max Verstappen rear tire, because I think he tried to extend so much the braking in the inside that at some point he realized that the crash will be inevitable. I made a video some years ago analyzing the line Lewis Hamilton took in the lap. He crashed into Verstappen, and later on in the race when he tried to pass Leclerc in the same corner. And it's true that the line is different. Hamilton left much more room to Leclerc in that maneuver than to Max Verstappen. But I think he knew that to pass Verstappen in that corner is not the same that to pass a Ferrari at that time. The Max Verstappen Red Bull car was much better, much faster in corner speed as well. So Lewis Hamilton knew that if he would like to have a chance to pass Max Verstappen in Copse, he really need a very good braking. And that's the point where I think Lewis Hamilton was too much aggressive and he was not able to stop the car before to enter in the middle of the corner, that is where is the rear tire of Max Verstappen. But as I said, I think for me it's not intentional at all. He knew that he has to do something extraordinary to be in front of Max Verstappen at that corner. Unfortunately, he went wide and he crashed into Max Verstappen.
Max, you okay?
And obviously, for the Max Verstappen point of view, it's terrible. A race that he could won to extend the championship advantage. Unfortunately, that crash happened. It could be very dangerous at that speed. Fortunately, Max Verstappen was okay after that.
That's the sight I did want to see. Max Verstappen getting out of the car.
I always ask myself, what happened if Hamilton and Verstappen would not crash? Maybe Hamilton even could win still. If Hamilton will win with Max Verstappen on track, probably Verstappen will finish in second. So at the end, he only will be able to cut 7 or 8 points in the championship context. So probably Max Verstappen will have much better advantage to manage in points in the future. And probably maybe the championship will not be decided in the last race. But obviously this is predictions and it's not how it works real life.
Michael, have you got a minute?
Hello.
Yeah, Michael, look, that corner, he was never anywhere near alongside. Every driver that's driven at this circuit knows you do not stick a wheel up the inside at Copse.
We have all the polemic with the team radios. Everyone tried to convince FIA that the fault was of the other driver. In the documentary, the 8th and 1, I tried to clarify that as much as I could, that putting all conversation possible between FIA, Mercedes, Red Bull, Hamilton as well.
I've had a chance to look at that footage. Lewis was significantly alongside on the inside of turn 9.
I've watched this replay several times now, Michael. That corner there, Michael, that's not a place to stick a wheel up the inside of a car.
Okay, you turned in on me, man.
Then is the penalty. 10 seconds stop penalty in the pit stop for Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton has a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
He's just standing by the mechanics. He's started his stopwatch, as the great Murray Walker would say. He's having a look at it. There you go. He's tapped the guy with the big orange banner.
And here there is another question. It was too much. It was not enough for such a big accident that Lewis Hamilton caused. Obviously 10 seconds is a big penalty, but obviously I think for pushing or crashing into your rival, even if it's not intentionally, 10 seconds looks not too much penalty. For me, maybe 20 seconds, something like that, will be better. The penalty did not represent what that accident was. And taking into account that your rival is out of the race, you cannot defend, you have free air to say in some way to win that race. At the end, he had to fight Lewis Hamilton to win that race, because with the penalty, obviously, he had to fight until the last laps for the race win. But at that time, the Mercedes car and the Red Bull were much better than the Ferraris and the McLarens.
Here goes Hamilton on lap 50. Oh, and he tries to get past Leclerc and goes off the track. Has Hamilton gone through? Yes, he has.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton was able to recover places. He did an amazing race, I have to say. Even with the penalty, he was able to win that race. And then Lewis Hamilton wins, and then is the Max Verstappen tweet in the hospital, writing that polemic tweet that I include in the documentary, in the 8th and 1 documentary. Lewis Hamilton in the podium was happy. He was able to win even with the penalty. I understand the happiness. But I'm sure, on the other hand, Lewis Hamilton was not happy seeing Max Verstappen was at hospital. But at the same time, it's understandable the frustration of Max Verstappen, seeing how your rival pushed you out into the barriers and he's celebrating super happy and you were in the hospital with the check-ins, you know. If I'm trying to put in the Max Verstappen boots, I understand the frustration as well of Max. So at the end, it's really difficult situation to manage because, yeah, not easy at all in that championship context.
Game on, we're just going to keep on attacking. There needs to be respect on the track, and if not, then this will happen more often, I guess. But I'll try my hardest to stay as clean as possible.
At the end of the day, this is racing, and this was an amazing championship fight between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, two great champions that they gave everything they had in that weekend in the British Grand Prix. It was not easy at all to edit this part of the documentary. I knew before to start the editing that would be very polemic. I did my best. Also, I tried to add epicness, drama with the music. You know, it was a very intense moment. One of the moments where was decided championship. It's a race that will be in our memories forever for different circumstances, but I think both did everything they had, and that's the most important thing. You can get access to the official store to get your The 8th and 1 t-shirt here, and here you can watch more The 8th and 1 stories. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.
Know your one is ready. The last time we are prepared. Oh, this time we'll take them down with our bare hands. The enemies will know.